Hello everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, we're going to dive into a heartfelt story of a mother, her daughter, and their uncle, where love, sacrifice, and resilience shine through the simplest moments of daily life. From the warmth of sharing guavas beneath an old mango tree to the struggles of selling vegetables in the crowded market, their journey is one of hope, hardship, and unbreakable family bonds. If you enjoy this story, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss the next chapters. Under the sprawling canopy of an old mango tree, sunlight filtered through the leaves, casting dappled patches of light on the ground. Huyen sat on a weathered wooden chair, its edges worn smooth by time, holding a crisp green guava in her hand. Maya, her eyes as clear and tranquil as an autumn lake, gently placed a plate of freshly washed guavas on the table. "Mom, want a guava?" Maya's voice was sweet and bright, ringing softly from her small lips. Huyen smiled, a smile as gentle as an early summer breeze, warm and serene. She nodded lightly. "Sit down, fold your hands," she said, her voice soft but firm, carrying the weight of a nurturing habit born of love. Maya obeyed instantly, crouching down and neatly folding her small hands in front of her chest, her sparkling eyes fixed on her mother with eager anticipation. As Huyen took a bite, the guava crunched sharply, its mild sweetness tinged with a hint of tartness spreading across her tongue. It wasn't just the fruit's flavor. It was the unspoken love Maya poured into the simple act. "Delicious," Huyen murmured, her eyes gleaming with a rare flicker of joy amidst life's endless burdens. Around them, the only sounds were the rustling of mango leaves and the cheerful chirping of birds flitting from branch to branch. In that fleeting moment, Huyen gazed at Maya, her heart swelling with pride and a deep sense of responsibility. As a mother, she strove to teach her daughter manners and gratitude through the simplest things: how to sit properly, how to say thank you. Yet, deep within, a quiet fear lingered. Would the relentless grind of survival steal these tender moments away? Maya looked up, her radiant smile like a sunbeam, piercing through clouds, easing the weight in Huyen's heart. Bathed in the soft glow of late afternoon, the mother and daughter were like a living painting. Love captured in small, ordinary gestures, profound in their simplicity. These humble moments, Huyen knew, would form the foundation for the stormy days ahead. The village path, coated in red dust, clung to the shoulders of worn-out clothes and left imprints on tattered sandals. Uncle D, stooped and weathered, pulled a creaking wooden cart into the yard, its load heavy with bamboo, reeds, and old timber, aged but sturdy, rattling with each step. From the porch, Huyen hurried out, her eyes lighting up at the sight of the materials, a spark of hope igniting within her. "Did they give it to you, or did we have to buy it?" Huyen asked, her voice laced with cautious excitement. Uncle De grinned, wiping sweat from his brow with a calloused arm. "They gave it to us. Lucky break." His words were brief, but his hoarse laugh carried a contagious optimism. Together, they stood by the pile of wood, discussing how to remove nails and select the best pieces for reuse in the new house. Each plank and bamboo stalk seemed to hold the promise of a sturdy home, a shelter to shield the family from the coming rainy season. As they sorted through the materials, Uncle D shared stories of his days as a bricklayer's assistant, where he'd managed to salvage a few well-soaked bamboo poles strong enough to last a decade. Huyen listened, nodding quietly, her heart eased by his words. Yet, the undercurrent of worry about costs persisted, like a quiet stream eroding her peace. Her gaze drifted to the corner of the yard, where Maya played with a fallen mango leaf, blissfully unaware of the adult concerns weighing on her mother. That sight grounded Huyen, reminding her that every effort was for her daughter. Uncle Day carefully lifted each piece of wood, inspecting it with the precision of someone laying the foundation for a future. His rough, veined hands were both powerful and resolute, a quiet flame keeping the family from faltering. But deep inside, he too harbored doubts. Would this pile of wood be enough to build a safe home? As dusk fell, the yard glowed under the crimson light of the setting sun, casting long shadows of the two figures over the scattered wood. They stood like warriors before a battle, hope before them, worry at their backs. Yet, in their eyes, a flicker of faith endured, that a home, however hard won, would rise from these hands. In the small room, a faint golden light from an oil lamp flickered, casting uneven shadows on the peeling walls. Maya sat neatly at the wooden table, a tiny pencil gripped between her small fingers, her handwriting wobbly but determined as it filled the pages of her school notebook. Huyen sat beside her, her voice steady and clear. Put a period here, then draw a straight line down. Maya nodded, her dark shining eyes focused intently as she carefully shaped the letter Y. Watching her daughter, Huyen smiled, though a trace of exhaustion lingered in her eyes. She knew education was Maya's only path to a brighter future, but the weight of survival, bills, food, and endless responsibilities sometimes left her unsteady. Write 2 more pages, okay? Huyen instructed, then leaned closer to add, after that, pick some jute leaves for me. Don't go out to the yard, it's too wet. Yes, Mom, Maya replied, her voice brimming with determination, as if every task was a chance to make her mother proud. The little girl tiptoed to the garden, her small hands gently plucking the green leaves. In her bright eyes shone a quiet pride. Though young, she was already helping her mother in her own small way. The simple house, with its cracked and stained walls, was like a mirror reflecting their hard-scrabble life. From the porch, Huyen watched Maya stooping in the garden, her heart aching with love and worry. Could she push herself hard enough to give Maya a complete education? Soon, Maya returned, clutching a bundle of fresh leaves, her innocent smile lighting up the dimness. Mom, I'm done. Huyen gently ruffled her daughter's messy hair, her eyes brimming with affection, but beneath it, the weight of worry remained. Outside, dark clouds gathered, and the humid breeze hinted at an approaching storm. Maya returned to the table, resuming her careful, uneven handwriting. Each line, though imperfect, was a small step on a long journey. Huyen watched in silence, her heart making a quiet vow. No matter the cost, she would protect that smile. In the dim, flickering light of the room, the mother and daughter were like 2 fragile seeds pushing through barren soil. Yet, their persistence and love wove a delicate but enduring thread of hope, guiding them toward an uncertain future. Dawn was still cloaked in mist, the sky slowly lightening after a long night. Huyen slung a familiar bamboo basket over her shoulder, her eyes tinged with a quiet melancholy. Before her stretched a lush field of green vegetables, but her heart beat with urgency. She knew that if she didn't harvest in time, the leaves would wilt, the fruits would fall, and days of labor would go to waste. Time to go, Huyen whispered to herself, a reminder to push forward, though her thoughts lingered on Maya and Uncle D back at home. Her hands moved swiftly, gathering bundles of greens with practiced ease, sweat soaking through her shirt. In the distance, birds chirped, evoking memories of calmer days long past. With each motion, thoughts of Maya's upcoming school year and the pink backpack her daughter dreamed of stabbed at her heart. Would she have enough money to buy it? As afternoon descended, the market buzzed with people, yet the abundance of goods far outweighed the buyers. Huyen sat by her vegetable stall, her voice hoarse from calling out amidst the clamor. "Fresh greens here, 10,000 for a bunch." She forced a smile, but her eyes betrayed disappointment as people passed by without stopping. Each unsold bundle felt like a cut, chipping away at her dwindling hope. She recalled Uncle D's encouragement. "Keep going, sis." Those simple words were a lifeline, steadying her against the crushing pressure, like the gray sky threatening rain. Her gaze fell on the round, ripe pears in her basket. Thinking of Maya, she decided to save them for her daughter. Under the fading glow of dusk, Huyen trudged home, her slight figure blending into the quiet road, alone yet resolute. That day, she wasn't just selling vegetables. She was selling faith, clinging to fragile hopes to keep their home standing. Each step, heavy as if carrying the weight of the world, moved her forward, driven by the family she could never abandon. The sunset had faded, and the sky turned a deep purple. In the small house, a flickering battery-powered lamp cast uneven light across the worn walls. Uncle D stood by the simmering pot of rice, its warm aroma filling the kitchen. But his eyes kept darting to the door, heavy with worry. Huyen hadn't returned. At the study table, Maya clutched her pencil, her hand trembling, unable to focus. "Uncle, where's Mom?" Her voice quavered, barely above a whisper. Uncle D paused, striving to sound calm. "She'll be back soon. Hang the lamp up to brighten the place." His words were gentle, but inside, his fears churned like restless waves. He thought back to their hardest days, when the family had only each other to hold on to. Maya hugged the lamp, its faint yellow glow illuminating her young face, where fear was beginning to creep in. "Uncle, let's go find Mom," she pleaded, her voice trembling but earnest. Uncle D nodded slightly. His heart sank. Huyen worked too hard. What if something had happened? He took Maya's small hand, and they stepped into the yard. Outside, a cold wind carried the damp remnants of rain. Before they could go far, footsteps echoed at the gate. In the dim darkness, Huyen's weary but unharmed figure appeared. "Mom!" Maya shouted, rushing to hug her tightly. Uncle Day let out a long breath, relieved, but his concern lingered. "Why are you so late?" His voice was low, more caring than scolding. Huyen lowered her head, her shoulders sagging, but her eyes brightened at the sight of her waiting family. The old house suddenly felt warm, as if a fire had been kindled. In that moment, fear dissolved, leaving only the quiet love binding the three.
Huyền và cô gái nhỏ Maya men theo con đường núi hẹp dưới ánh nắng gay gắt của mùa hè. Dù Maya ngày càng mệt mỏi và sốt cao, Huyền vẫn tiếp tục hái dương sỉ trong rừng, biết rằng mỗi bó là thức ăn, là thuốc men và học phí. Tại khu du lịch suối cá nhộn nhịp, họ bán rau, đối mặt với những lời từ chối liên tiếp. Trong ánh mắt của Maya dán chặt vào món đồ chơi mà em không thể có. Tối đó, trong căn nhà đơn sơ được thắp ánh sáng bởi chiếc đèn sạc mới, hai mẹ con chia sẻ những bữa ăn giản dị, trân trọng những chiến thắng nhỏ. Trong khi đó ở nơi xa, Lệ không ngừng tìm kiếm họ, ghé qua các chợ và hỏi thăm người lạ. Một cuộc tình cờ mang đến tin tức Huyền và Maya có thể đang ở Cẩm Liên. Với hy vọng mới, Lệ lập tức lên đường, quyết tâm đoàn tụ. Những hành trình đan xen của họ nói lên sự kiên cường và hy sinh và sức mạnh bất khuất của